In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Google Slides and Autocrat to create student certificates. Now, you can either, do these certificates yourself, or you can collect data from multiple teachers across a campus or district, and then it'll auto-generate those certificates. So to get started, what you want to do is create a Google form, which you can click on the New button, go down to More, and then choose Google Forms. Now, I already have one started, so I'll simply select it, and you can see an example of what you'd want to do. You definitely want to collect an email address if you're collecting from multiple people. So I've added that. You do that by selecting the settings gear here, and then collect your email addresses. Now, if you're collecting information out of the school district, you'd want to make sure you uncheck this box. If it's in school district, no big deal. You can just leave it checked. Now that I have the email address, then I can fill in a title and so forth, and just start adding questions as I've done there. You can see the different questions. So include all those fields of information that you'd want in your certificate. So here's some of my questions, and of course in Google Forms, to add a question, you simply click on this plus sign here, and then you have all these different question types that you can choose from. And again, a lot of them are going to be multiple choice or a short answer for a certificate. So I have mine all done right here. And then once I'm done, I can then send that link. So I could email that link or give that link to someone to fill out. So I can click right here to preview it and kind of give you a sense of what that looks like. And so, again, if you're doing this on the behalf of the entire campus, you could send this out to every teacher, have them complete this, and you'll collect all the results. Now, when you collect the results, you'll see up here at the top, you have questions and responses. So I can click on responses. And of course, I'd see all the summary and individual responses listed here. But if you click this little green icon, it's going to create a response sheet. So I can click on that, and it's going to open up a spreadsheet. Now, I already had that open, so you can see right here, here's a spreadsheet that it created. And then you'll look at the column headings at the top, because they're going to be used when we set up Autocrat. Now, before I do that, what I want to do is create a certificate. A brand new feature of working with Autocrat is I can create this in Google Slides. So those of you that may be new at that, you just within your drive, you click New, go to Google Slides right here. And so this Google slide I have right here, I have it displayed. Now, one thing you want to make sure you do is go to File, Page Setup, and then you want to change it to a custom size. So typically it's going to be either standard or widescreen by default. You want to go to Custom here and choose 11 by 8.5, which is the size of a piece of paper. Now, if you're using some other certificate type, you may want to change that, but I would say that's typically what you'd want to use. So I changed that, and then you just use the various tools to create your certificate. So notice in my certificate, I put in all the stuff that's going to be the same for every student. But if there's unique data or information you're collecting from your form, you want to use these little tags that you see here off to the left and the right of the field that I'm collecting. So you can see I'm going to insert the unique first and last name, the name of the award, the unique name of the teacher. And since it's going to be the same principal in my form, I just typed in their name. So again, you could do this, maybe you're doing this for a whole district. This, the field name up here could be, school name. And of course, you'd want to make sure you put that in your form as well when you're collecting it. But that's what I'm doing. I'm pretending I'm setting this up for an entire campus. Now, once you have your form set, then you go back to Sheets. And in Sheets, you want to use an add-on called Autocrat. So you simply click on the add-on tool at the top, and you see have Autocrat here. But if you didn't have it, you'd simply go down here to the bottom, click Get Add-on, and then you'd search for the Autocrat add-on, Autocrat. You do a search, and you can see it right there, and normally they'd have a free button you'd click, and you can install it. I already have it set up, so I've done that. And then you'll go up here, I go to add-ons, I go to Autocrat, and I'm going to open Autocrat. And then it's going to walk you through a wizard to setting it up, which I've already done, but we'll look through that so you can learn how you do that. And we'll give it just a second to load. You'll give it a name, so I just named it Student Certificate. You click Next, and you just kind of go along with this wizard. Then it's going to ask you, well, what template do you want to use? Now, since I already set that up, and that's the slide that I did earlier, I would just go to From Drive and find that Student Certificate slide presentation, which I've already connected, and click Next. And then it's going to look at your column headings in your spreadsheet and connect it or map it to your certificate. So those over here, you see the tags that I used are going to be matched up. So you see first name, last name, last name. So it's always easier if you have those the same way. If not, you can always match them up by clicking the drop-down menu and match them up. So I've matched all these or mapped each of these, and I click Next. And then we have how you want the file to be named. So, these are all going to be saved in your Google Drive, and then you can have it set to email someone if you wish. So I've named it Certificate, and I can use these same tags I used in my slide or my certificate. I can use those in the file naming convention. So I just put the name of the award because I want them all sorted by the name of the award and then by last name, first name. And then you can save those either back as a slide, which you'd essentially it'd make a Google slide presentation of each certificate. But in this case, in most cases, you want to create a PDF that they're going to print and get a principal to sign and hand off to the student. So I'm going to make a PDF and I click Next. Now on this screen, this is just where you choose a folder where you want all those certificates to be saved. And you click Next, Next, and there's some other parameters you can set, but I'm going to skip that. And I'm going to get to this setting where it says, will I allow the person I'm sharing this file to share it with someone else? And yes, I don't mind if they do that. And I want to share it as a PDF, and you can see there I could go in and change that. Do you want collaborators? Yes, they could. Send generic, no, so forth. Now down here at the bottom in the body of the email, you want to make sure in the to box you put the email address, which again matches with the column heading of your spreadsheet. And then you can use those same tags that you've collected in the body of your email if you wish. So once I put in a little message there, I can click Next. And then one of the last things you do is decide if you want to set a trigger. So in other words, when people enter the Google form, soon as they submit, do you want it to do this merge or to Autocrat to run and automatically generate their certificate? Now you don't have to do that. You could choose no, and you could manually run it at a given time. But I'm going to tell it to run automatically. But again, I would not suggest to do that when you first get started because you want to make sure it's working properly before you turn that on. So now that I've done that, I'm going to click Save. And we're going to give it a second to save all those settings. Now, once it's saved all the settings, you can click this play button here on the left. And when you click that play button, it will start merging, doing what's called a mail merge essentially. And it's going to create those certificates that are unique to each student. Now, I've already done one, so I'm just going to close this to show you an example. And so what it's going to do when I do that merge is it's going to put information in these columns over here to the right, as you can see, starting in column G in my example. And then there's links to the documents that it created. So I could click that link, or you can see here in my Google Drive, it created these certificates. And here's an example. I click on that, and it's created this PDF specific to a student that I could then print out. Now, so here we go. We're going to go in there. I'll show you an example of one that I create, and let's see if it works. So here I am. I'm going to fill out one as if I'm a teacher in another classroom. put in my student's name, and let's say they have A honor roll, and I'm their teacher. I'm going to submit. We'll give that a second, and we'll see. Here we go. It's coming in. You saw the information's coming in, and we'll give it a minute to see if it's going to trigger the merge or not. So you can see here that without any further work, it automatically triggered the certificate. And so I can click on the link, see the results of the certificate, and you can see it has the information. It has a student name, it has what they earned, and it should also email the teacher that entered it, or emailed the person, if they, whatever email they entered to begin with. So again, I hope that helps you. I know it's a lot to kind of take in and set up at the beginning, but just imagine if you just had, 60 teachers across your campus with hundreds of kids to enter, how quickly you could put together some nice certificates.